Welcome back to another video. Today we'll be going over Trump's second term agenda for 2020. Now, I was scrolling on YouTube and I saw Timcast released a video and it was titled Trump's second term agenda, and he's saying he is now voting for Trump. Before I watched his video, I wanted to search it up myself and see Trump's agenda and come up with my own opinion before I watch his video, and this way I could kind of compare and contrast and see what we agree on. But I wanted to do this video first before watching his video so I can be unbiased as possible. So let's go ahead and get started. So you can find this on Trump and Pence's website, Make America Great Again, Donald Trump's website, and let's go ahead and get started. So his first category or section is jobs. So Trump wants to create 10 million new jobs in 10 months. He wants to create 1 million new small businesses. He wants to cut taxes to boost take-home pay and keep jobs in America. I really agree with that. He wants to enact fair trade deals that protect American jobs. He wants Made in America tax credits. Yes, thank you, God. He finally is coming up on this. I really agree with this. If you make products in America, you should be benefited for this. I love this idea. He wants to expand opportunity zones, and he wants to continue to deregulate agendas for energy independence, which is also amazing. All of these are amazing ideas. We know Trump's track record. He's amazing with business. He had record unemployment lows for all categories of people, all races, all genders, record low unemployment levels. He did an amazing job on the economy before COVID. I really agree with his Made in America tax credits. I think that's such a good idea. It'll help keep a lot of our stuff made in America, and we'll get benefits for making stuff in the United States of America. I also agree with the energy independence. If you wonder why your gas has been really low recently, the last 3 to 4 years, why gas prices have been so low, and that's because we don't rely on Saudi Arabia or Russia to get our oil anymore. We produce most of it ourselves, and that's why the price is so cheap. So I agree with all this, and this will be a long video. We're going to go through every single one of his points, so this will probably be my longest video I've ever done so far. So the next topic he did was eradicate COVID-19. He wants to develop a vaccine by the end of 2020. He wants everything to return to normal in 2021. Thank God, I hope so. He wants to make all critical medicines and supplies for healthcare workers in the United States. He wants to refill stockpiles and prepare for future pandemics. Yes, I agree with this so much. Not only do I really want COVID to end by the end of 2020 like this, to develop a vaccine, I want everything to return to normal in 2021. And I want all the healthcare workers to have supplies, of course. But I really want us to be prepared for future pandemics. We were not prepared for COVID-19, and no one would have been prepared. I'm sorry, no one had a plan for this at all. His next topic, he wants to end our reliance on China. I agree with this one as well, and let's go ahead and go over his points. He wants to bring 1 million manufacturing jobs back from China. He wants to have tax credits for companies that bring jobs back from China. This is amazing, guys. Are you reading this? Are you guys listening to this? This is amazing. He wants to allow 100% expensing deductions for essential industries like pharmaceuticals and robotics who bring back their manufacturing to the United States. No federal contracts for companies who outsource to China. And he wants to hold China fully accountable for allowing the virus to spread around the world. This is amazing. Guys, this is one of the first presidents who's just so upfront, and their policies make sense for everyone. I mean, who doesn't want this? More jobs in the United States. Also, the companies are being rewarded for bringing more jobs to the United States. He wants to do the deductions for essential industries in pharmaceuticals. That means we get our medication in the United States. We don't know what China puts in our medicine. Let's be honest. And honestly, it is kind of disgusting that most of our medicine comes from China. Think about that. Do you really want to be taking medication from China, one of our biggest political enemies? So I agree with everything here that Trump is saying. It's an amazing plan so far. So now let's go over healthcare. And also one more thing real quick. We do need to hold China for allowing the virus to spread. If you don't remember, China was found guilty of withholding information about COVID-19 that could have helped stop the spread earlier. So they were shown to withhold information about COVID-19. So they need to be held accountable for this. So his next plan for healthcare would be to cut prescription drug prices, to put patients and doctors back in charge of our healthcare system, to lower healthcare insurance premiums, to end surprise billing. He wants to cover all pre-existing conditions. He wants to protect Social Security and Medicare, and he wants to protect our veterans and world-class healthcares and services. I agree with everything here. We need to cut drug prices. We need to put patients and doctors back in charge. We need lower healthcare premiums. Basically, healthcare needs to be lower. I really agree that our VA system needs to be fixed. It's very sad. I know several veterans who are dealing with cancer, and it's taking forever to get test results. It's taking forever to deal with VA and setting an appointment. Our veterans are literally slowly dying because they are waiting on VA, and it's very sad. This really needs to be fixed. So, on his next point in the agenda, he wants to do for education, he wants to provide school choice to every child in America. Thank God. Why is school choice not a thing? I wish I had school choice. I was put in a school that was not doing very well academically, and unfortunately, I didn't do very well academically. I did not learn what I needed to learn to further my education. And unfortunately, I really did fall behind. I think so. I think I fell behind because I didn't go to a good school in my high school years. And I really wish I did. I didn't take school seriously, and I wish I did. And he wants to teach American exceptionalism. I'm not sure what he means by this, so I'm going to go ahead and put this in Google. And let's see what that is. So, American exceptionalism, what is the concept? Okay, so it is the theory that the history of the United States is inherently different from other nations. Okay, so it's the idea that American has a unique mission to transform the world. I agree with that, in a sense, because basically, America, we believe, our principles is we don't believe in racism. We believe that every man is created equal under God, and I think every woman as well. So I think that's what he means by that, but I'm not too sure, so I'll let you guys come up with your own conclusion. I agree with that because in some sense, not every nation is behind that, like China or Russia. They don't all believe in stuff like that, so I can agree with that. I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to read more into that, but I think I can agree with that. So his next point is to drain the swamp. He wants to pass congressional term limits. We need to do this, absolutely. End bureaucratic government bullying of U.S. citizens and small businesses. Absolutely, because right now in this pandemic, there are so many businesses being shut down and they're not allowed to be open for no reason. You can wear a mask in a gym, and you could social distance in a gym, so why aren't gyms in certain states being allowed to open up? I definitely think this is an issue, and governments should not be able to bully citizens. Like, if a citizen has a certain political view, the government should not be able to shut them down, as long as you are in the right parameters. So if you're rioting, your political opinion does not matter. I'm just going to say it right up. If you're burning down buildings and you're destroying people's properties, your political opinion does not matter. If you are protesting peacefully, or it doesn't even have to be a protest. I think you should be able to go on YouTube and post your opinion without YouTube or the government shutting you down, as long as it's not harming anyone. So like in this video, I'm not harming anyone. I'm a fan of Trump's plan so far, and I should be able to say that without consequence because I'm not hurting anyone. So next, he wants to expose Washington's money trail and delegate powers back to people in the states. Absolutely. This should be almost number one. If we can drain the swamp and expose the money trails to see who is supporting who, this is probably one of the most beneficial things Trump can do in the long run. Because after Trump, we might be left with just more swamp members, and who are we going to vote for? More swamp members. If we can expose the money trail, we could figure out who to support and who to not support based on who is trying to get who in power. And I know what I just said kind of sounds confusing, but basically I'm saying if Jeff Bezos is supporting politicians and giving politicians money to and then return the favor of having less regulations for whatever Jeff Bezos wants, then in turn Jeff Bezos is trying to get people in power who only benefits him and not the people. So that's kind of what I'm trying to say. I know it's kind of hard to explain that off the fly. But he also wants to drain the globalist swamp by taking on international organizations that hurt American citizens. WHO, get rid of it, and I'm glad he did. The WHO is terrible. I'm not even going to get into that right now, but they are terrible. Geez, man, this is a long video so far. So the next section is defend our police. Absolutely. We need to fully fund and hire more police and law enforcement officers. He wants to increase criminal penalties for assault on officers and law enforcement, of course. He wants to prosecute drive-by shootings as act of domestic terrorism. Bring violent extremist groups like Antifa to justice. Everyone can agree on this. Any American can agree on this. Absolutely. Antifa is burning down buildings, or the Black Lives Matter movement as well. Antifa, Black Lives Matter, whoever you want to call them. They're burning down these major cities, and these Democrat mayors are not doing anything about it. It's sad. It really is. And he wants to end cashless bails to keep dangerous criminals locked up until trial. Yes. Because these protesters are burning down our buildings, they get arrested, they go to jail, and then these organizations like Black Lives Matter just bail them out the next day, and they're on the street the next day continuing to burn down our cities. And this is still going on today, which is crazy. It really is crazy. So my opinion on the defend our police is, how are we going to get better trained police and just better police in general if we're taking money away from the police? We get better police by giving them more training, which in turn means giving. His next topic is to end illegal immigration and protect American workers. He wants to block illegal immigrants from becoming eligible for taxpayer-funded welfare, healthcare, and free college tuition. Yes, duh. So next, he wants to have mandatory deportation for non-citizen gang members. He wants to dismantle human trafficking networks. I agree with that. Anyone with a brain will. He wants to end sanctuary cities to restore neighborhoods and protect our families. He wants to prohibit American companies from replacing the United States citizens with lower-cost foreign workers. Yes. This will protect American jobs, and this will help increase your pay. Because basically they can't take, they're not outsourcing the labor. And he wants to require new immigrants to be able to support themselves financially. But innovate for the future. Launch Space Force, establish permanent man presence on the moon, and send the first manned mission to Mars. Thank you. It's been 50, 60 years. It's about freaking time. There is really nothing that inspires kids more than space. And we haven't had any kind of program really since the space shuttle, and that was still kind of a failure, the space shuttle. I mean, there's nothing for kids to really be inspired these days. When I was a kid, I thought space was awesome, and it really did inspire me. And there's so many kids who were inspired by space. So if we're going to the moon and we have ambitions to go to the Mars, kids have an opportunity to be able to create something, to create a vision, to be inspired of any race, of any color. And I think space is one of the only unifying things we have left in this world, or in this universe, I guess you want to call it. So next, he wants to build the world's greatest infrastructure system and win the race to 5G and establish a national high-speed wireless internet network. That's kind of what Elon Musk is doing with Starlink, so I'm not too sure what he means by that. Continue to lead the world in access to the cleanest drinking water and the cleanest air. I agree with that. Who doesn't? Partner with other nations to clean up our planet's oceans. Who doesn't agree with that? Anyone can agree with that. All right, so his last category or topic is American First Foreign Policy. He wants to stop endless wars and bring our troops home. Thank God. It's about time. We've had so many of our American citizens and troops and warriors killed overseas in wars that I'm not even really sure were that important to us. And ISIS, I think, was very important. We brought them to justice, and Trump did that in about 2 years, and from 2014 to 2016. Now it's time for our boys to come home and enjoy the freedoms that we have in the United States thanks to them. And we should only go to war unless it's to protect America, and if it's to protect our families and what we stand for. So get allies to pay their fair share. I agree with that. Maintain and expand Americans' unrivaled military strength. We should have a strong military presence, of course. I mean, that just makes sense. Wipe out global terrorists who threaten to harm America. I agree with that as long as we don't start another 20-year war. So if Delta Force or the SEALs or whoever, the Green Berets, 75th Rangers, if they just go over somewhere to take out a top leader terrorist, they're in and out in 2 weeks, I don't care. But do not stay there for 20 years unless it's an absolute threat. And his last point, but certainly not least, is build a great cybersecurity defense system and missile defense system. I agree. We have a lot of countries, China, Russia, Iran, maybe North Korea, with nuclear missiles, and we should have a great defense system. So that's everything that Trump has said in his new policy. I agree with probably 95% of all his policies. And if you're not biased, if you're looking at this with an open mind, about 90% of America should agree with almost everything here. This is pretty much nonpartisan. Everything here is what every American pretty much wants. I mean, who doesn't want this? This is all for the best of us, for the better of us. Everything he put in here was to boost America. It was to improve our lives every single day, from jobs to tax cuts to education to improving our political atmosphere for citizens. He wants to improve our police system, end illegal immigration, innovate for the future, space travel, and he wants an America First foreign policy. Guys, I think this is one of the most perfect campaign announcements like I've ever seen, like agenda. I mean, this is perfect. I really agree with this. So tell me what you guys think. Wow, this was a long video. This was my first time reading it. I will watch Timcast's video after this to see what he says. And I'm voting for Trump. Trump has my vote. I hope he has your vote. Guys, Trump 2020, let's do this together. I'm so excited. I can't wait to bring you more videos, and we'll probably do more videos and go over everything in depth and kind of give my opinion more. I'm going to do some more research for every single topic, and I'll do it one by one. So I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you in another video. Thanks for watching. I can barely speak. That was one of my longest videos ever, so I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.